Podcast. I'm your host, Stratton Brown. I interview successful entrepreneurs from around the world to see what moves they've made in their lives to get successful and, more importantly, stay successful. I'm here to make sure you can create a better life for you and your family. Let's tune in. Welcome to the Winning Move Podcast. I'm your host, Stratton Brown. We have another amazing guest on today, super successful entrepreneur someone who actually didn't start out in real estate and got into real estate. My man, Jeremy Mathis. His brother's not coming. The smart one's here.
Yes, sir. I'm here, guys. What's up, man? Thanks for having me, bro. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, bro. So we're going to talk about how you made $600K in 9 months off of Refinances. Well, let's start off your entrepreneurship journey, because a lot of people aren't really, because you guys are entrepreneurs super young, like really young.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Like, what was the first business? Why did you start it? What did it look like?
All right. So I can't keep up with all those questions. So let me start with, our entrepreneur journey, and I'll collapse into a quick story. So our first business was taking out the trash can for our neighbors. So they would pay us $2 to take the trash out and take it back in after the garbage man collected it. Got us addicted to making money. That led us to, our next venture was a lawn service in high school. And then after that, we went to college. And in college, we started a custom clothing line. You can go onto our website, you can create whatever you wanted, and we shipped it to you. It sounds like a great idea, but it's not, because Americans are lazy and nobody wants to design everything. We want everything. We just want everything. We want to go in the store and buy and not have to worry about it. So we put $20,000 into that business before we realized it was a failure or a learning lesson. And then we stopped doing it. And then we pivoted. We started doing promotional marketing because we saw that our peers in college got tired of dealing with certain vendors. And we became their go-to preferred vendors for doing promotional marketing, which is printing their organizations, logos on hats, hoodies, t-shirts, pens, and things like that. We ran that business for a little bit, and I met one of my mentors. I did an internship for him while we were running that company. I crushed the internship. He wanted to hire me. I told him no. And then, long story short, we ended up starting a commercial cleaning company together, and we specialize in cleaning dental offices. We charged a premium for that, and the plan was to franchise that out. But we realized 12 months in that we hated the business, so we sold the business. So we grew and sold that business within 18 months, and we got into real estate. We started wholesaling, and that led us to everything else that we're doing now. That's an entrepreneur journey.
Did you say you sold it?
Yeah, we sold that company.
How much money you make?
So it's a story on that. And this is why you want to find motivated sellers. We were very motivated sellers. So when we first got the idea to sell the company, just back up a little bit, our mentor at the time, who was our business partner as well in the company, it's important to have great people around you, because he was the one that taught us and showed us, like, gosh, you can sell this company. You've created value, so sell the company. So we put the company on the market. And we got an offer that was under our asking price. And that offer was like 105, 110,000, just above 100,000. We're like, oh no, we were asking price. But at the same time that we were trying to sell the company, we had hired a mentor to help us start wholesaling. So we're focusing strictly on real estate because we want out of this cleaning company. While the cleaning company is still running, but we're losing clients because we're not really paying attention to it. So we was like, damn, we should have taken that offer. We made a big mistake.
Yeah.
After getting a couple more offers that we weren't happy with, we did our first wholesale deal. We made $19,500 on that first deal. That's after 3 months of trying to get a deal. That deal closed. We called the broker, bro. You got 1 week to sell this company, or we're shutting it down. We don't care about the money. $19,500 was almost equivalent to what we were netting per month in that company, and I'm with a whole bunch of headache, and I had to do headache to get that first deal. So the broker found a buyer, and we end up just basically breaking even on the company. We sold it for only $20,000.
Damn.
But we were motivated sellers, though. So when people talk about what's somebody's motivation, if somebody's very motivated, you will get a discount. We didn't care about the money. All we cared about was getting out of that company, getting enough money back to pay back the investor who was our mentor, and then focusing on real estate. So we potentially had a 6-figure exit that turned to a low 5-figure exit.
Bro. So where did you guys find your clients at the beginning for that one? Like finding all those dumb clients?
That was, so I was 22, 23 at the time. We knew nothing about marketing. All we knew was how to pull a list, because my mentor's company at the time, they had purchase lists and they called dentists. So we did the same thing. So my brother, he was inside sales, I was outside sales. So we mapped out all of the dental offices. He would call all of the dental offices, and I would be like just driving, driving for dollars, essentially, just going door knocking on dental offices. So I walk in, hey, how's your cleaning service? Are you happy with them? And earn business that way. While my brother stayed, at the time we was living with my mom, stayed at the house and just was banging out cold calls, trying to get customers.
Bro, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Have you read the $100 million exit yet?
No, not yet. I literally just purchased it 2 weeks ago. I'm very excited about it. Everybody keeps talking about it.
Bro, it's pretty good. Like Mark showed it the other day in the call. I'm like 3/4 the way done. It's good, bro. About just shit you wouldn't really think about.
Yeah.
Like, cause like I've never, like when I thought about selling a company, cause like we were thinking about selling one of them.
Yeah.
And like reading that book, like there's no fucking way we could sell this thing. Like based off of like what you'd want to get and what it needs to look like, the structure of it. Like there's no, like you'd sell your book of business and that's all.
Right. But sometimes one of the things that I learned from our company was the buyer, he asked us, like, why did you guys sell the company so cheap? I would have paid way more for it. Like, we just wanted out. And I asked him, why did you buy the company? Like, you already have a successful cleaning company. He had a successful high-end residential company, but he was trying to get into the commercial space. So it's as opposed to trying to build out a commercial fleet or unit or whatever, we were the right piece to his puzzle. So sometimes you just got to be that right piece, and you can get a higher multiple because you fit within somebody's puzzle that they're trying to put together. So long story short, your company may fit into somebody's puzzle, even regardless of what that book says. So you probably just want to put it, you probably want to put it on the market with a broker and just see what you get. Obviously, that costs you nothing at all. You may get a number, and you're like, fuck this, I want out. So that's something to think about.
Something to think about now. What was your biggest lesson from that like experience overall?
Biggest lesson. We learned so much, and I think the biggest thing was to follow your passion and do what makes you happy. We were miserable that entire time with the cleaning company. We never really wanted to start a company. It was just more so excited. We were more so excited to start a company with a very successful entrepreneur who was successful then, and he's even more successful now. And that was more so our focus, to start a business with him. And he had, by that time we started that company, this guy had already franchised 4 companies, 2 which he had already exited. So we just saw dollar signs. I wasn't concerned about no passion, no happy. I saw dollar signs. I'm a young, broke, hungry kid out of college, and I'm ready to make money. I grew up in the hood, so my focus has always been making money until I had kids, and things changed. But for us, it was just once he helped us realize we wasn't happy. He was like, bro, you guys will never make money in this, because every day is going to be miserable, and you're probably going to run a company to the ground. So when people say follow your passion or do what makes you happy and don't just do something for the money, that was the biggest learning lesson from that experience. We had a lot of other lessons, but that was one of the ones that was just really in the back of my mind, the first one that I thought about.
Only thing I would push back on is you guys were good at making money, so you could follow your passion. Like you guys, like, the only thing I'd push back on is like other people would take that and they don't know how to make fucking money and they'll stay broke by following their passion. You guys already knew how to make money and run a business, and so you followed your passion and you just chose a different vehicle.
Right. Now you got a point there. Got a huge point. People follow their passion, they go broke following their passion.
Right? I mean, I always say this, like, bro, my passion's having sex with my girlfriend and playing with my son, right?
Got you.
Those 2 things don't make me money. You know what I mean? So,
listen, you can get on OnlyFans.
well,
you can get on OnlyFans.
Like I could get on it, right? Like, okay, so we could start an OnlyFans account, and then I guess I could start a YouTube channel of me playing with my son every day.
Right, bro. So I just really think about, we live in a world now where you can make money for almost anything if you know how to pitch and sell whatever it is that you're doing to people, because everybody's interested in something, right? You can have a niche where people that want to watch somebody play with their son watch your YouTube channel. Like, it's crazy to me how these kids watch other kids play on YouTube. But some of these kids are making millions of dollars from just getting online and playing games, and people watch them play games. So you make money from anything.
My son is in the front room right now, and he's watching Ryan's World. Ryan's World is the #1 grossing YouTube channel in the world. Like, makes the most money off of YouTube than anybody else. My son watches him play with toys.
Bro, I don't get that. I
was like, what do you want to watch, dude? Ryan's World. I want to watch toys. I was like, yo, like, out of everything.
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
So who is like the visionary and who's the integrator between you and your brother? And how did you guys like define your roles? Like, are you guys just naturally gifted in different ways or what?
I would say yes, we are naturally gifted in different ways. A lot of the ways we are similar, that's one thing I don't like about being partners with him. You know, we think alike a lot of the times, and we have similar skill set. But as far as visionary integrator, I think naturally I'm also the visionary. He's more so the integrator. But as far as roles, we never really clearly defined roles. We just fell into them. So even with the cleaning company, I was always the one doing sales, talking to people. When we first started doing real estate, I did sales and I talked to people. Just naturally, I just gravitated towards that because I think I'm really good at it. Whereas he's more so back office, operations, systems, and things like that. So for us, it was just something that we just fell into, and it was never no conversation. When we hired a coach, it became a conversation, but we had already had everything together. But when we first started, it was just, well, I want to do this, and okay, I'll do that. That's basically how we started.
When did you hire a coach?
Well, I think this is our 5th year in real estate. I think it was year 3, and it wasn't an ongoing coach. It was more so an EOS traction implementer. And they came in and helped us define roles, set up the org chart, scorecards, all that other stuff.
When did you do that? When did you get the EOS guy? When did you get the EOS guy?
That was like 2.5 years ago. So 2.5 years ago.
How much did that help? Like, how much clarity did it give you?
A lot of clarity, a ton of clarity, because we created core values, we created scorecards for the entire team. It gave us a lot of insight and things that we wasn't even thinking about. So one of the things that I've never really been good at is holding my team accountable. Like, I suck at it. Even though we have like the metrics in place, I still suck at it. But the metrics help me hold them accountable, because now it's like, hey, we sat down together and you said you were going to make 100 calls this week and you only made 75. So that helped a lot as far as that EOS implementer, just creating a lot of accountability for us. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. And like, they're like 15 grand, right? Are they more than that?
The one that we found, she charged us, it was less than that, but yes, they are like 15 to 20,000, but she charged us less than that because I was in an entrepreneur group with her. So I got lucky.
Oh.
And I was in a group with her, and so.
Okay. What group were you in with her?
Entrepreneurs Organization. It's called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. You should look into it, bro. Like, it's a really dope organization. So if you're an entrepreneur doing over $1 million in revenue per year, you can get into the organization. It's really cool.
So like, what's it about overall?
So it is, you're in a forum. So you're in a group with between 7 to 8 entrepreneurs, and you meet every single month. You guys talk about everything. Personal life, business, everything. And these are like your board of advisors, and you really become close with the people that are in your forum because they know everything about you. And that's like the EO culture. But then also, so you have that small group, but then you also have a chapter. So within the South Florida chapter, I think at this point we have like 300 other entrepreneurs that all have a business that is doing a revenue of over $1 million. So we have events that we go to, we meet and we socialize. And then I don't know how big it is globally, but it's a global organization that's broken down into smaller chapters that are then broken down into to forum groups. But imagine you have a business, or you're trying to start a business to sell hats, and you need a supplier in China. You can just reach out. There's like a huge portal. Hey, who knows a supplier in China? So it's a great networking tool, and it's not that expensive. It's like $7,000 a year, something like that.
What other masterminds are you in?
I'm in the DM fam. I'm in the DM fam. I'm in EO. Those are the only two I can think of. But one thing I do a lot that I encourage a lot of people to do is go. So let's say you throw an event, which you definitely need to throw an event. And you bring together 20 entrepreneurs and we all come and we network and we do something cool. Like I go to a lot of those. I think I go to like 2 a quarter. And that's something that's been very beneficial because you sit down and you talk with other entrepreneurs and you realize that you're not as bad as you think you are, or you could be doing way more than you're currently doing and you're super content with your life. So, and I draw a lot of inspiration from going to that. And also it allows me to get more clarity on what I want and what I don't want. But yeah, so I think it's EO, DM fam, and I can't think about any other ones that I'm in, but I know it's another one, but I just can't think about it.
I'm not that big of a fan of events. Like I like masterminds, but like I would go to an event and I'd just show up at night because like I don't like the rawness of like the speakers.
So
you know what I'm saying?
I definitely get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying. But what I'm talking about, like last week, I went on a fishing trip, and it wasn't really any speakers. That was dope, bro. Like that was real cool. And we went on a fishing trip. So it's like, and you go there. We had dinner the first night, then the next day we got on the boat. It was multiple boats. So imagine me, you, and another high-level entrepreneur. We're all on the boat. Like deals actually got done on the boat.
Yeah,
like just really think about that.
I like that. So like I like that aspect of things.
I saw a like on the boat that I was on, a multi-million-dollar deal got done. I don't want to put their business out there, but I saw that get done on that boat. So those are the events I'm talking about. Not really like having a keynote speaker, but events where you're just connecting and networking with other entrepreneurs.
All right, so we hosted the Winning Mastermind, and that was more like keynote speakers. But like the next one, I don't know what we'd do. The thing that comes to mind is like golf, maybe a fishing trip, like a snowmobiling trip during the wintertime in Utah. That'd be dope.
Now I think that'd be really dope. And I think you definitely need to put that together because you bring 15, 20 high-level entrepreneurs together. And in the morning we go skiing and we do everything else. And in the afternoon, it's just people sitting around talking. And then you can bring in like 2 guest speakers. And the guest speakers are not raw. It's just more so, gosh, this is how I scaled and I grew my company.
Yeah.
And gosh, this is why you need to live a healthy lifestyle. Like stuff like that, bro. I appreciate that kind of stuff.
For sure. All right.
So when are you doing this? The question.
I was planning on throwing the second one in the probably fourth quarter.
Got you.
Late third quarter, early fourth quarter, because we hosted one in January that was in Salt Lake, and then I'll probably get my little mastermind group together in this quarter, and then we'll throw another big event in, I'd say, late third, early fourth, because I was like talking about it with the group today because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I do like the event where like, hey, we're gonna go snowmobiling. We'll have one dude come talk, and then after that, it's all just networking.
Yeah. And don't say little mastermind group. My mastermind group.
You're right, bro. You're right. I mean, you're right. You're right.
Yes,
you're right. All right. So you guys transitioned into real estate. We'll go back into like your journey, right? So you transitioned into it. You did like what you say, like 20-something grand, 19 grand first deal.
Yeah, I first 19,500.
So you did 19 grand. How long did it take for you guys to like catch momentum?
We caught momentum after that. Once I saw that it was real, because it took us, so the first 3 months of trying to find that deal, it took us 90 days to get that deal closed. So it took us 90 days to get the deal under contract. And it really, If you really think about it, it would have taken me 6 months. If I didn't have my brother, it would take me 6 months in time. If you really want to get technical, because there's two of us and we were working full time. So it took us two people 90 days to get that first deal under contract. Once we got that first deal under contract, we had momentum. We saw that it was real. We saw that it was possible, and that's all we needed. Like part of what gets me going is shit. I can do it. I can do it too. And that's not me being arrogant. It's just me believing in myself and having extreme confidence that you're a man just like I am. You put your pants on one leg at a time. So I believe that it was possible. But then after making call after call during that time, I did get down like, dang, is this really gonna happen? Is this ever gonna happen? And then when it finally happened, we caught momentum instantly because I knew that it was possible.
Okay. So you caught momentum. When did you start like hitting 100K months? And what you guys went on, you guys were doing heavy PPC. That was the first time I heard about you. When you guys went on Steve's podcast,
yeah,
you guys had like dirt cheap PPC.
Yeah, so that's before everybody got into it. Now it's so expensive. But the first 2 years, believe it or not, so the first year one, we did exclusively on the MLS. Exclusively on MLS. Yeah. Wholesale on MLS. Yeah. 2016, 2017, whatever. 2000 on the MLS. And then we start, once the MLS it started to slow down on deals, we started doing door knocking. So I would go out, knock on doors. I'm like, man, we can't, this isn't sustainable. We were getting massive deals at that time because you're face to face and everybody else is virtual. So, and then we made the decision to start doing PPC, and we've been doing PPC now for what, three years now at this point.
Are you still doing it?
Yeah, well, we're still doing it. And what we do now is we wholesale nationwide, and then we fix and flip in South Florida. Soon to be really the entire state at this point, because we have some fix and flips throughout the entire state of Florida. But we do wholesale nationwide.
Like Nick Perry model.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because for us, say it again.
That's Nick's like whole thing.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And for me, it makes so much sense. Our cost per lead is cheaper. Our return on ad spend has gotten much better. It's much easier to get deals, and my team gets more opportunities to make money, which is very important to me. Whereas down here, we were competing in one of the most competitive markets, if not the most competitive at this point in South Florida. And we were still doing deals, but it got like to the point where, what are we doing? We're spending $500 to $600 just to get a lead.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
It's like not a PPC lead either, because PPCs turn over faster, right? They're generally hotter. Someone fucking Google some shit, sell my house fast, and they click your ad.
But it's becoming more competitive because now more people are doing PPC. So it is possible to get deals. It's definitely possible. We're doing it. Other people are crushing it, but it's a lot more competitive than it was when we first started. When we first started, it was like cake.
When did you guys go nationwide?
Literally 2.5, 3 months ago. And so this is all, this is all new. And I think so far we closed about like 13 deals over the last 2 months, just all from nationwide.
Have you run into the rural shit? That's the one problem I hear.
So when we first started, we were doing the entire country. And then you run into, like you said, the rural stuff, and like moving those deals. To Nick's credit, his team, they get it done. I don't know how they get it done, but they get it done. For us, we just realized like we don't want that headache of trying to sell these deals in these rural areas. It's just too much. So we kind of revised our campaigns. So right now we are pseudo nationwide, but we focus on the top 290 metro markets in the country. So we've been doing that now, like I said, 2 months fully. 2 months. We've closed about 13 deals and a whole bunch more in the pipeline, which I'm very excited about. Like this week alone, luckily for us, bro, we're gonna close like 140 net to us.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So I really like that model a lot.
And so do you cold call at all? Like, do you do anything like lead gen wise besides PPC nationwide?
So yes, we do. No. So we only do for nationwide. We do PPC.
Yeah.
And then we do cold calling in certain markets within Florida and North Carolina.
Okay.
But eventually, that's going to the next thing for us, which we're going to achieve this quarter, is we're going to start doing TV ads in markets where we want to buy. So we're going to start doing TV ads, and that'll be the next thing for us.
Have I connected you with Alex Quezada? Do you know who he is?
No.
So Alex does nationwide. They did like 60 deals in January. Like they're huge. Through everything. They did 60 deals in January, but he does radio ads. Like he does radio ads, PPC, cold calling. Like the dude is like the guru's guru, and nobody really knows about him. But he's legit, and he's down in Orlando. You guys are.
You gotta, if you could connect me, that'd be awesome.
I'll connect you, bro. I'll connect you with him.
Appreciate that, man.
So we got that. Now you got your brother doing leads. When did you start like hiring on people in the real estate business?
So this was a huge mistake that we made. So coming out of that cleaning business, we hired and we fired 28 people in the span of 18 months of owning that company. So when we started real estate, well, even when we decided to do real estate, when we made that decision based off of where can we make the most money with no employees? We're like, oh, we can go and flip houses. You don't need no employees. All you need is contractors, but you don't need no employees. So for the first really like 3 years of being in the business, it was just me and my brother cranking at it, like just cranking it, pushing deals out, making deals happen. And all we had was an outside TC that helped us. So I will be responsible. Yeah, I will be responsible for bringing the deals in through the PPC and door knocking. And we both did MLS at the time. And then he would be responsible for dispo. And we had a TC to help us. And we didn't really start hiring until like 2 years ago. And that's been a struggle. Like, just candidly, that's been a struggle because like I suck at hiring, firing, and all that whole rigmarole. Like I'm not the best at it. Like I keep horrible people for way too long than I should. So that's one of our biggest struggles right now, just hiring people and just knowing how to do that effectively.
I feel like that's everyone's biggest struggle is they keep people on for too long. It's hard, bro. I mean, now that you're responsible for their family, dude, you start thinking about that.
But one of the things that I started thinking about this year as I made my don't want list is that I'm doing a disservice to myself and to the organization. I'm doing a disservice to myself because I'm picking up their slack and that takes away from my family, which is very important. And then if I'm keeping them around the organization, I'm allowing mediocrity to pervade the organization. So you're doing a huge disservice. And that my mentor had helped us understand that. Once I understood it, it was still tough. Like I had told her, my mentor, that I was going to let one of the people go last year in December. And we literally just let him go 2 weeks ago. It was like, it was bad. Like, but it got to a point where I just didn't want to come in the office anymore. And that also wasn't good for the organization either. So
yeah, that's no good. Yeah. The one thing that I found, at least with like managing people, like I think KPIs are so key because then it's not an I feel conversation, right? You get the DM like data, not drama. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're like, hey, bro, like, what? I don't see a positive correlation here,
right?
And they don't, and then core values come into like when you have KPI and core values, it's so much easier to like manage shit,
right?
Because like if they mess up anything, like, does this align with our core values? No. Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing, hitting your numbers you're supposed to do? No. All right, boss, it just doesn't look like it's going to work out.
Yep. And somebody literally told me that last year. He was like, bro, I struggle with the same thing as well, but you're not firing them. The numbers are firing them. So make sure that you hold them accountable to the numbers and they know the numbers. And if they know the numbers and they don't hit them, then, hey, listen, you sat down with me. We created this scorecard together. And you're not performing up to something that you said you can do. So I got to let you go, not because me, but because of your performance that we've been talking about for the last month. So I think that definitely is going to do something amazing within me, myself, as far as like bringing in people, hiring fast and firing faster, whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and then what have I learned? Overpaying people is always worth it. Like you just get better quality talent. But I'm a big fan of like firing fast. And I learned this one from
Oh, that's my fault. My fault, guys. That's me calling.
Nah, that's 100% me. Thank you. I fired my assistant the other day, and so now they're interviewing new assistants for me, and I'm in the group chat.
Gotcha.
Where was I at? KPIs.
You were saying bro.
Damn. Stuck. Sergio, make sure you edit this out. Sergio, make sure you edit out the. I'm just telling my editor to edit out the low point. Where were we at? Hiring. Oh, dude. All right. So Pace is like, if they don't impress you in the first week, get rid of them. He's like, if they do not like blow you away in the first week, they're not ever gonna blow you away again. He's like, think about that. Like, if someone doesn't come in and fucking kill it, what makes you think they're gonna kill it later on? Like, because generally when they come in and kill it, they just have the right mentality. So if they come in with the right mentality and they knock shit down, keep them. If they don't impress you, get rid of them. And so like that's one thing I've really started to implement. Like if you don't impress me in week one, like I'm sorry. And like we tell them that way they fucking come in humming. Right. And like it sets that mentality.
I think the biggest thing though, when hiring anybody in anything in life, is set expectations. I think if you set the proper expectations, that can avoid so much. Like you just said, we tell them if you want to press me in the first week, you're going. So they know exactly in that first week, I need to be on my A game. I need to be on my A game. So I think just setting proper expectations helps avoid a lot of issues.
So what are you doing to like develop as a leader right now? Like what are you doing to work on it?
Great question. So one of the biggest things is just reading books, but also one of the things that I struggle with for the longest is reaching up for help and understanding.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm reaching up for help, bro. I'm asking all the smart people that have grown organizations, that have sold organizations. Like I have all these mentors, and my problem is I don't know how to reach up, or I struggle with reaching up just based off, how I was raised. But now I'm changing that. Like I'm reaching out to people. How do you do this? How do you do that? One thing that we are thinking about doing is similar to what you said, which is just finding the top talent. So finding a COO, overpaying them and letting them come in and shine and just take over the organization. So
do you listen to Andy Frisell at all? Oh, go ahead.
No, what were you saying? Do I listen to Andy Frisell? I listen here and there. He's not somebody that I listen to all the time, but I listen to him here and there. Why do you ask?
He had a fire podcast about like this whole situation today. Like to where it's one of the best, because like now like he's damn near a conspiracy theorist with half of his podcasts and he's screaming all the time. Oh, did I lose you, bro? I may have lost you.
No, I'm still. Oh no!
Wait a minute.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. You're a little fuzzy. We'll wait a little bit. There you go.
Okay. There you go. I don't know what happened.
It's all good. It's Sergio, bro.
Sergio, cut that out.
Sergio, cut that out, bro.
What you saying, Andy Frisell?
So Andy Frisell's podcast now, right? I mean, I'd say half of them are him screaming about the way the world is so fucked up in politics. Well, probably 3/4 of them. But it's like Q&A F1s. I'll send you the one I listened to today. Like it's like what you'd get from the Arete Syndicate. I have a couple, like Burns is a part of that.
Yep.
And it was fire as far as like leadership, company building, mentality. Like it was amazing. Towards like the old school, like MFCEO stuff. Because this old stuff is fire. As far as like mentality, hiring, firing, culture. Because that's what you're really running into now, bro. Like it's all people. If there's one thing that I've learned, like it's only people. Like you have all the smarts, but can you keep good people?
Bro, what I'm learning and what I've learned over this last year is you can only go so far by yourself. You can only go so far with bad people. You can go really far with a lot of great people. And for me, that's our biggest focus right now is just how do we get better people into the organization so they can take all these monkeys off my back. And that allows me to just really sit back and think and be a visionary and just lead the organization the way that I'm supposed to, as opposed to doing all the stuff that I'm doing right now. So that's my biggest focus is finding the right people, because I truly understand that now at 30 years old, the importance of having a great team.
So what are you doing right now to set your company culture up the right way? And like differentiate it from other places.
Got you. So we've been focused. That's something that I think we've done a great job at, really great job. So we have core values, and everybody talks about what the core values mean to them. We celebrate every single win, regardless of how big or how small. You bring a contract in, we're celebrating that. And that's just everybody standing up and just clapping like, oh, good job, good job. What else? What else are we doing? We have a team meeting every morning, and we start off with wins. And like some of the wins are so funny, but it's just, and most of the wins are not even about business, it's about family stuff. So not only are we connecting as an organization based on something positive, but I'm really getting to know you and what's happening in your life. So for us, we have a culture based off number one, extreme accountability, number two, winning, and number three, being a family.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Celebrate every win. What are you doing? I like the celebrate every win thing, bro. That's big because like we have that, and we start off our meetings on Mondays with what's something you're grateful for and something good that happened to you.
Yeah.
Right. So like we get to hear more about their personal life, especially when you're virtual.
Dope.
All right. So we got that. What other questions do I have for you, Brody?
I know people want to hear about how we made $600K.
Oh yeah, bro. Jesus Christ. I missed the number one thing. Yeah. So what were you buying? What were you targeting? What type of assets were they?
So everything we own, and just full disclosure, our portfolio is worth just north, and it's just me and my brother, no partners. It's worth just north of $7 million. And most of our portfolio is duplexes to fourplexes, and duplexes to fourplexes. So over the last 2.5 years, we've just been buying duplexes, fourplexes, and buying them because we only buy deals. I'm not in this game to say, oh, I own $100 million worth of real estate and I ain't cash flowing nothing. I need to make money. Like, I need to cash flow. Rentals is a tough business, and it's not a sexy business that everybody thinks it is. So I need to actually make money. So for us, we're buying deals more than likely to be below 70%. Below 70%. You buy it, put some money into it, and then cash out, refinance at about 70%. All of our cash out refinances have been at 70%, except one. One of them we just recently went up to 75%. But yeah. So we actually could have made more than 600K, but we were being very conservative on the cash out refinances. Which at hindsight, I wish we would have went up to 75%, or whatever.
When did you start paying yourself from your rentals?
Last year. And it's like minimal. It's not really something amazing to talk about, because we're still buying and we're using the cash flow. Some of the cash flow comes to us, but most of it goes to repairing the assets that we buy. Because right now, the way that we're looking at the world, at least our world in South Florida to us right now is New York in the 90s. Anybody can go, you can rent a place in the 90s in New York, you can buy something in the 90s. But now in New York, if you regular Joe Smo, you ain't getting nothing. So we believe that that's going to happen in South Florida with the migration of everybody from California, New York, and all over the world that's moving here. Because as we've seen throughout the country, especially here in South Florida, prices have gone up on everything. Rent, like I have friends where their rent has gone up $800 in 1 year, bro. Like stuff that we were struggling to get $1,200 a month in rent for last year, easily people were begging us to pay $1,600, $1,700. It's wild. So for us,
doubling your cash flow too.
Yeah, definitely. So for us, we're using all of our cash flow from our rentals to dump it back into when we buy something. Luckily for us though, most of the times, like anytime we do a fix and flip, we put no money in the deal. We get 100% financing on the rehab and on the purchase. On our rentals, we get 100% financing all the time on the purchase, sometimes on the rehab, depending on the deal. So,
I mean, so you're going into most of them with little to no money.
Pretty much, yeah.
How'd you build that relationship with the banks?
It's all private money, bro. So I'm a long-term thinker. I don't believe in being transactional. So at the beginning, when we first got into this business, we understood that people were taking a risk on us, which a lot of people don't understand. Like, oh my God, I'm paying this hard money lender all this money, bro. You missed the boat. We were paying lenders. We always had 100% financing, but we would pay them 10% on their money plus split the profit with them 50-50 at the beginning. Yeah. And that never bothered me because I understood at some point I'll be the king of the hill and I'll be able to dictate the terms. So after we do 7 to 10 deals, we go back to them. Hey man, listen, you got your money back on time. We did the project. Everything went smoothly. You didn't get any calls. We didn't ask for any extensions, blah, blah, blah. All right, we got to renegotiate these terms. So 50-50 turned into 70-30. Did a 3 more projects. 70-30 turned into just regular hard money rates, which is 12% and 2 points. Then that turned into 10%, 1 point. And then now it's rolling. And for us, we don't take on a lot of new lenders, a lot of new lenders, because our existing lenders, bro, they have set it up for us where part of it we've gotten a little lazy and we should be raising more money, but I'll make a call right now and it's just more, hey, I need 500K. Okay, send me the address. We're blessed in that regard, but that was always because of long-term thinking. At the beginning, I didn't mind giving up anything, but right now I'm eating good. And I'm not struggling like most other people that are doing 7 projects like we are at a time that are struggling to pay monthly interest payments. I don't make no monthly interest payments. Everything is paid on the back end as well. So we get 100% financing, no monthly interest payment, everything paid on the back end.
Bro, that's smooth.
Yeah.
So where did you meet your lenders at the beginning? Like, were they in your life? Because people who come from the hood don't know people with money. Let's just say that.
No, definitely. We don't know people with legal money. Okay.
Legal money.
So we met one of our top lenders, believe it or not, at a RIA meeting. How people talk down about these RIA meetings. If you go there and you ruthlessly network, you may find somebody who's a doctor, who's a lawyer, who has a lot of money or a retirement account. They want to get into real estate, but then they go to a meeting and somebody talks about all the headaches of it. They're like, I don't got the full time. And if you know a little something, you could just talk to them. Hey, you be the finance partner. I be the operations partner, and let's get going. So one of them we met through RIA. The top one that we have, how did we meet them? It was just through a relationship. So the guy that we did a cleaning company with, he knew them and just made that connection because again, we've always done the right thing. We returned his money because we could have walked away from that cleaning company. That's how much we hated it. Well, we stuck it out and we gave him his money back. So it's just, again, always doing the right thing. And then one thing, and then, as you know, if you can give me some money, and I'm doing good, you go to the country club with your boys, man. I got this young jockey. Boy, he's amazing. If you guys want to get in, I can then make the introduction. And just more people we start getting introduced to more and more people, start hanging out with them at their house, going to parties. We live in South Florida, bro. So it's a lot of money down here, like a lot of money. Yeah. So you go to the right event, you can walk out with 15, 20 million.
Yeah.
Not to start with, but obviously work that, that's how much you probably have access to. And we've been in parties and rooms like that, and we've been able to navigate the landscape. But the biggest thing that I want to leave your audience with, though, is know who not to take money from. So we did a deal with somebody, and we took what we call bad money, and it wasn't bad money. It was just every day we got a call. Give me an update. What's going on? Like that's what you're gonna be calling me every day. If you don't call me at all, I don't want your money. Like I would much rather not take your money because my life is already stressful as it is. I don't want to be in the update game.
That's not worth it at all.
Yeah.
How did you just say, like, hey, did you just not ever hit him up again for money?
Yeah, pretty much. No, once we finished the project, it was done. Like, don't ask me. I ain't say this, but they kind of knew. Don't ask us to go in on any other projects.
No, that sounds like the worst.
It wasn't that bad, but it was just.
It can get bad over time, bro. Like imagine that when you have 6 flips going, and he's like nitpicking. I've heard of lenders like nitpicking the actual project of saying they don't like the project.
Oh, I've never dealt with anything like that. It was just more so too many phone calls for my liking.
Bro, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
How many of your rentals are Airbnbs?
None of them. So right now, unfortunately for us, we passed up on some great Airbnbs in the past. I've never was a believer in the model until a buddy of mine late last year, he showed us his numbers, and I'm like,
bro, it's wild.
Bro, it is wild. Now I'm like, oh man, we've been missing this boat. So right now we haven't even refinanced our lenders out of these Airbnb projects. One of them, we have one Airbnb we have up right now, and then the other two we have them under construction to get them ready to.
I lost you again, Brody. 1
I
minute.
don't know what's wrong.
Wait.
Can you see me?
I can see you. 1 minute. It's coming.
I don't know.
I can't hear you. Generally, what happens, bro, is then like if you're on Wi-Fi,
yeah,
the Wi-Fi will it always fluctuates. It's never like a consistent thing, and so it just goes in and out. It's a pain in the ass.
But I don't know why that happens because I always do every podcast. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We can get to it. My bad.
Oh, you good, bro. I mean, we have the dude who can edit it out.
Got you. Oh, okay. So every time I do a podcast, I'm in the same place, and this never happens.
Huh. I'll look into my
I don't know. Nah, I don't know. No, it's mine. It's mine because it shows. Oops, we're trying to restore your connection. I don't know why this happens. I've never used Restream, but yeah, whatever.
Restream's the best one. That's because it streams in 1080.
Got you.
Right, to where everything else, to where for the most part, you could use your phone, and your phone will shoot it in 4K. Like you don't even need like a nice camera. Like you just get a app called NeuralCam Live, and that's what I did until I got like this camera, and my phone just shot in 4K, and no one could even tell. Like they thought I had a $6,000 camera.
Wow. We had to talk offline about that.
All right. So where are we at? Your second Airbnb is still under construction.
Yeah. So like I was saying, we have two Airbnbs that are under construction and one that's up live. That one went live like in the middle of March.
And how much better are those numbers than your regular rentals?
Let's just say that we are making, and we do well on our long-term rentals. We are probably making like on that one Airbnb, we would make 4 times what we would get in a regular rental net. And then that's a low end. That's a low end Airbnb. The other two that we got, we're gonna do numbers on those two. Like they're in really nice areas. So like I'm kicking myself in the butt all the time. Like damn, I wish I would have been got into this, but whatever.
Do you what's your portfolio consist of? Is it like C and B class, or is it like D class stuff?
Most of our stuff is B, C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, you can make money off of the B and C stuff. My first like wholesale mentee does Airbnb. Yeah. And so I'm in Tower District in Fresno right now, and then I think like 4 blocks this way. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. This dude is the master of Airbnb-ing out ghetto ass houses. When I tell you this dude is raking money in with an Airbnb with a trap house across the street, and he has 3 of them, like killing it.
How
they come with same. He puts in like those longer term nurses. So like they're still paying him crazy rates. Like, bro, it's a legit trap house across the street. He owns 2 of them right by each other, and he sent me his numbers. It was wild.
Yeah.
Here's this one, and then he specializes in all of the like bad areas.
Yeah.
And he gets them to work, bro. Still super host, like all that shit.
Oh wow. Corporate, yeah. Somebody told me about the corporate housing and the traveling nursing model.
Yeah, traveling nursing model. And then my business partner does all just Airbnb, only in Fresno too, and he kills it.
Wow.
Yeah. So like the dude I was telling you about.
Yeah. Who's coming? First of all, who's coming to Fresno?
People who don't want to be in Fresno, they got to be there. So they Airbnb. Like it's but Fresno is the agricultural capital of America. Like all your food is made here.
Yeah.
Like grown here, not made here.
Yeah. I learned that when we went out there for my first and last time.
Why'd you come out here?
One of my friends got married out there. I'm like, oh, really? It's California. Let's go California. Let's go see Fresno. We got there and it's like,
bro.
Okay.
That's how my college coaches got me out here. I was like, yeah, how far away is LA? I was like, I have a friend who goes to UCLA. Like, I'd love to go see her all the time. Like, yeah, it's only a couple hours away. Like, you have all this free time to go do that.
Yeah.
I went to LA once. And LA is like 4 hours away.
Yeah.
All right, bro. You got any parting words for the listeners? Where can they find out more about you?
I think the best place to find out about my brother and I is Mathis Twins, MATHIS TWINS on Instagram. That's the best place to connect with us. We put out a lot of free content on how we're building up our empire within real estate and business. And my parting words is don't compare yourself to anybody. Don't compare your journey to anybody. We live in a world where it's easy to do that. And I'm telling you, don't do that. Most of these people that are on Instagram they're only sharing their highlights. Not many people going on Instagram and say, hey man, I lost X amount on the deal, or this didn't work out for me. So some of the people that, you are aspiring to be, or you're comparing yourself to, is probably in the same boat as you and you don't even know it. So don't compare yourself.
Great one, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Man, thank you for having me, bro. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Bro, I got you.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Winning Move Podcast. I hope it helps you make all the right moves in your life and business. Please make sure to go like and subscribe on any podcast platform that you're listening to, and make sure to go follow me on Instagram @StratDaddy.